sort of wanted to go to some like funny little cafe that you go to, and then I thought, well, maybe you don't go to funny little cafes. I mean,
I pretty much go to work.
R&R means rest and relaxation to most, but to Jennifer Puccio, R&R stands for something entirely different. Research and rosé. A day of relaxation for Jen would be perusing the farmer's market, testing recipes, or tasting in different cities to forage and then refine ideas for one of her three-star restaurants, Marlowe, Park Tavern, and the Cavalier. I went with her to New York City to learn just what Jen's form of R&R is like, but this time it involved a dinner for 500 people for the James Beard Foundation. Tonight's your big event, and tell me your menu.
We're doing all things spring, really. We've got crispy Meyer lemon chips with charred asparagus and avocado puree, deviled rock shrimp, Dungeness crab, and like lemon balm, mint, and just a beautiful herb salad over the top.
And that's just a single course?
Yes, yeah.
So for your average cook, like a home cook, that sounds as if it's an entire dinner in a single course, meaning so much labor into that.
Yeah, there's a decent amount of steps.
Jen didn't admit she was nervous, but she also didn't have anything to eat all day. Do you eat before the events?
Generally, I don't, yeah. I tend to be a rather tense person, especially when it comes to things that I'm not, like working in the kitchen on a daily basis. It's going out and doing something new. I want everything to go perfectly. and I tend to worry about that.
Talk to me about East Coast food in general.
The San Francisco scene is so specific that it's just great to get out and see what other people are doing in New York City. It's such a small town, San Francisco, that it's just really lovely to experience other cities as well.
Broader.
Yes.
Right. So more possibility, more ethnicity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And more bad that comes with the more good.
That's true.
I always say, New Yorkers have great food, but they have great food in this tiny little itty-bitty bunch.
Yep.
Whereas we seem to have it everywhere.
Exactly. The chances of a miss are greater, but therein lies the excitement.
Puccio grew up in New Hampshire and went to New England Culinary Institute in Vermont. Her first break was to work for acclaimed Cambridge, Massachusetts restaurateur Anna Sorton, owner of Casablanca and Oleana. Tell me about New Hampshire.
New Hampshire was great. I think the town was probably 2,000 people. We had a big farm that my parents bought that was falling apart. My mom had this beautiful victory garden. She had a compost bin. I mean, it was really lovely, and she was very much into cooking and canning and doing all those cool things and growing it. And we had a basement that was filled with jars of tomatoes and pickles and jams and those sorts of things, and my dad worked all the time.
So where does Anna Sortum show up in this?
I think one of Anna's sous chefs got sick, or a line cook, and she needed help. We hit it off. She was super talented. She had trained in France, and she was a hard ass. And I stayed with her for three and a half years, something like that.
A romantic encounter with the general manager of Casablanca led to a last-minute research trip to the Napa Valley. She never left California. Instead, she got married and settled in San Francisco and worked downtown at the Cortez restaurant. Jen didn't realize she would end up with an empire, but then she hooked up with Anna Weinberg, and wham! Within 3 years, the Fempire, as they call it, was born. Anna is the animated member of the duo, and Jen, the more controlled.
We didn't even run into each other. We were actually taken to Cortez for James's birthday and had this kind of spectacular meal, and you could see this like little girl in the kitchen with bangs, and we keep thinking, like, who is that? And a week later, you know, I heard that it had closed, and we kind of went about finding her, like seeking her out and making her ours. No, that's not really true, but it kind of is. Yeah.
It's a symbiotic relationship because you've got three very distinct skill sets. You've got Anna, this brilliant concept, ultra creative, almost frenetically creative, without any structure, just going, creating and going. And then you've got Chef with obviously more structure, but focused on the back of house.
One more Brussels chip. Make it 2.
And the menu and the food program and the detail orientation that goes into making that great. And then I bring structure to all the creativity. It's a lot of fun.
I spent a good 4 months getting up and coming in at 5 a.m. and working until 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And yeah, that's how that worked.
Jen is obsessed. Anna is obsessed.
Are you obsessed?
I'm obsessed about Anna and Jen. People who are great at things are obsessed. And so I think that it's that obsessiveness that, and that sense of urgency that keeps people inspired. Chef and Anna got one of the best compliments I ever heard. We had one of our assistant GMs say, "I've never been more terrified yet inspired by 2 people in my entire life."
You can't make it as a female chef unless you can push the boys around.
True, because you can, you know, get a lot more flies with honey.
Of course. And I watched you do that. You definitely softened into killing flies with honey, but if a bunch of dudes see there's a woman in charge, I think you've got to start with some iron fist or some...
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I prefer not to have to be a raging bitch. There's only so many hours of that you've got in yourself, you know?
I have been a raging bitch for 2 hours. My raging bitch hours are over.
Exactly.
Hand me some rosé. Okay, rosé. How come rosé? Why not, like, how did this become your little favorite sidekick?
I think it was once I met Anna Weinberg, actually. She's a big fan of the rosé.
This is what we call the chef pink. Large ice cube. You can buy these. Makes every drink better. Large tumbler. Large is important. And then it has to be Trier or good French rosé. Do not try and fool her.
I mean, my question is, are you being a rebel by putting that big ice cube in there?
No, not if you're taking it into a stinking hot kitchen and you're gonna drink it really, really fast.
Actually, a beer after service is not quite as appealing as the rosé with an ice cube. Because it is, it's much lighter. It's more like, feel refreshed.
It's true. It's, again, it's a lady drink.
Exactly.
Jen, show them the look.
I'm not gonna, no. That has to happen organically.
I'll do something to your salad later. It's amazing, this look that can get 20 big dudes in line.
Jen is full of inspiration and heart and love and dedication. She's the first one in the kitchen in the morning, the last one there at night. Whether it's shaving asparagus or washing a dish or wiping a plate or calling a ticket or pouring a glass of wine behind the bar. She knows everything about the restaurant, how to make it work, how to make it wonderful, and does it as well.
Silly or serious?
Serious. No smile, serious. You know when you're in trouble.
Temper?
No temper. Well, yes, but controlled. It was suggested by Chef Puccio that this was a integral part of the preparations. So, delicious.
A poorly dressed salad says a lot about a restaurant.
How many things do you taste?
A lot. I try and taste all of the salads. I try and taste as much as I possibly can. I mean, I really, really love where I'm at. I love what I'm doing. I really do relish the times when I can't be like uber creature of habit, you know? Because there's a certain amount of success you can get from being uber creature of habit, and then you do need to sort of launch yourself off that cliff.
Right.
And just be like, all right, this is what needs to get done. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it, but we are going to get it done. It's going to be successful.
That's right.
Living by the bay has been the best cliff jump of all for Jen, who, when isn't involved in R&R, is adding another R, opening new restaurants.
That's what I always say about opening a restaurant. It's like giving birth. But you never really forget the pain of childbirth, right? But you end up wanting to have another one.